Good morning and welcome to the New York City Council vote of the Committee on Housing and Buildings. At this time, can everybody please silence your cell phones? At this time and going forward, no one is to approach the dais. Thank you for your cooperation. Chair, we are ready to begin.
Thank you, Sergeant. Good morning. I'm Councilmember Pierina Sanchez, Chair of the Committee on Housing and Buildings. Today we are voting on proposed intro number 904A, the Billingsley Terrace Structural Integrity Act, to establish a proactive inspection program for buildings, sponsored by me. On December 20th, 2023, what started as a quiet day saw the lives of over 170 people upended as the corner of 1915 Billingsley Terrace collapsed in broad daylight. There were children walking home from school, neighbors stopping into the bodega on the first floor. All of them were terrified. This event followed years of neglect and hundreds of violations at this property from DOB, from HPD, and other agencies. The Billingsley Terrace Structural Integrity Bill was born of the question, what more should our agencies have done to prevent this tragedy? There were glaring warning signs here, and tenants and New Yorkers alike were left asking, what did New York City do with this information? With New York City home to over 1 million buildings, nearly 75% of which were built before 1960, we should not only rely on reactive approaches when we have so much information available to us as a city to enforce. New York City's aging building stock and recent building collapses, such as 1915 Billingsley in the Bronx, and the unfortunate fatal garage collapse at 57 Ann Street a few months prior, highlighted the need to ensure our buildings are stable, inhabitable, and address deficiencies at the Department of Buildings. In a novel approach, Intro 904 will require the city to identify and act on these issues before they become major problems, ensuring a safer New York for everyone. Intro 904 would require DOB to create a proactive inspection program using predictive analytics to assess the structural integrity of every building in our city by analyzing certain factors including building age, violation history, disciplinary records of registered design professionals and contractors associated with the building, which in the case of 1915 could have saved the property. If such predictive analytics indicate a building has a high risk of structural failure, DOB will be required to conduct an inspection. And then, to ensure compliance and repairing any violating conditions cited during an inspection, the commissioner would be required to establish rules outlining when a building owner must submit a corrective action plan, prepared by a registered design professional in good standing, detailing each violation condition. DOB would be required to conduct follow-up inspections to verify the progress of repairs under a corrective action plan, and would have the authority to issue a violation for failure to comply with the corrective action plan. As a primarily complaint-based agency, DOB needs these tools to proactively ensure our buildings are safe, and proposed Intro 904A is the first step in doing so. I'd like to thank our committee counsels, Austin Maloney, who worked so diligently on this legislation, Taylor Zeleny for your work, as well as our policy team, Jose Conde and Andrew Bourne, my Chief of Staff, Sam Cardenas, and my Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Communications, Kadeem Robinson, for your work. Thank you to the advocates, Legal Aid Society, Legal Services of New York, who've stood by the tenants and provided us feedback. And thanks to the Department of Buildings, Commissioner Jimmy Otto, for your collaboration in getting this right. I'm joined today by my colleagues who will be named when the clerk calls the roll. Any comments or questions? Okay, with that, thank you. I will turn it over to the clerk.
Good morning, William Martin, Committee Clerk, roll call vote, Committee on Housing and Buildings, proposed introduction 904A. Chair Sanchez.
Aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye.
Feliz.
Aye.
Abreu.
Aye.
Aviles.
Aye.
Hudson.
Aye.
Ressler.
Aye.
By a vote of 7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, introduction has been adopted by the committee. Madam Chair, that it is a full committee.
Thank you so much, clerk. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.